I'll never forget the pit in my stomach back in 2020. The market was in a free fall, and watching those red numbers bleed across my screen felt like a physical blow. So I did what everyone else was doing. I sold. I let fear grab the steering wheel and drive me right off a cliff, wiping out months of gains in a single afternoon. I told myself I was being smart, just cutting my losses. The reality, I was just reacting, another sheep in a stampede of panic. It was only after I'd locked in those painful losses that I stumbled upon a profound secret. The ultra-wealthy don't play this game. They don't get tossed around by the emotional waves of fear and greed. They operate on a simple set of 5 unbreakable rules, rules that let them build fortunes while the rest of us are losing our shirts. And today, I'm sharing all 5 of them with you. Look, these aren't complex trading algorithms or secret handshakes. They're foundational principles that create a clear dividing line between those who build lasting, generational wealth and those who spend their lives reacting to the market's every mood swing. Getting these 5 rules into your head will fundamentally change how you see money, risk, and opportunity. It's a blueprint for making powerful, rational decisions, especially when the world feels like it's going crazy. So if you're ready to stop gambling and start building, let's jump in. Rule 1, they protect their downside first and let the upside take care of itself. The biggest mistake most people make is obsessing over the upside. We're all hunters searching for that next big thing, the 10x stock, the crypto moonshot that'll make us a millionaire overnight. We're playing offense and only offense. The wealthy are obsessed with defense. They deeply understand a timeless principle from Warren Buffett. The first rule of compounding is survival. You can't win a game you've been kicked out of. This means their number one priority is not losing money. Before they even dream of growth, they build a financial fortress. This isn't about being timid, it's about being indestructible. While the average person is leveraging up and taking wild swings, the wealthy are making sure they can survive any storm. They know a single catastrophic loss can set you back for years, not just financially, but psychologically. It shatters your confidence and pushes you into a state of fear, poisoning your future decisions. A perfect example is a proper emergency fund. Financial experts often suggest having 6 to 12 months of living expenses tucked away in a safe, liquid account. This isn't dead money, it's your ticket to staying in the game. It's the cash that stops you from being forced to sell your investments at the absolute worst time, like during a market crash, just to fix your car. The wealthy see this fund as their power base. It's what lets them stay calm and think logically when everyone else is hitting the panic button. So here's your first move. Before you throw another dollar at a speculative stock, fully fund your emergency savings. Figure out your essential monthly expenses, housing, food, utilities, transport, and multiply by at least 6. Stick that cash in a high-yield savings account where it's safe and easy to get to. This isn't the sexy part of investing, but it's the most critical. It's the foundation for everything you build on top of it. Rule 2, they buy assets, not liabilities. This sounds almost insultingly simple, but it's the biggest difference between the wealthy and everyone else. The philosopher of wealth, Jim Rohn, nailed it. The rich use money to build up, not to show off. When most people get a raise or a bonus, their first thought is, how can I upgrade my life? A newer car, a bigger house, a fancy watch. They buy things that look like wealth but are actually financial anchors, dragging them down. The wealthy do the exact opposite. They buy things that generate wealth. A liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. That new car loses a chunk of its value the second you drive it home and keeps draining you with payments, insurance, and repairs. An asset is anything that puts money into your pocket. Think dividend-paying stocks, a rental property spitting out cash every month, or a piece of a profitable business. The rich are relentless in their hunt for assets. They understand that every dollar spent on a liability is a soldier that could have been out on the battlefield, fighting to bring back more dollars. I have a friend who is the living embodiment of this rule. For years, he drove a beat-up old Honda, even as his income shot up. His coworkers were all leasing new BMWs, but he was quietly funneling every spare dime into buying duplexes. For the first few years, it looked like he was the one falling behind. But then he hit a tipping point. The cash flow from his rental properties grew until it covered all of his living expenses. He built a machine where his assets paid for his life. Only then did he go buy a nice car, paid for in cash, with money his investments generated. He didn't use his own labor to buy a liability, he had his assets do it for him. Your actionable step is to start thinking like an owner, not a consumer. The next time you're about to make a big purchase, ask yourself this one question: will this put money in my pocket or take money out of it? Start small. Instead of the newest phone, take that cash and buy a few shares of a low-cost S&P 500 index fund. It might not give you that same instant rush, but you're making a profound shift. You're choosing to own a piece of the world's greatest companies, an asset, over a piece of depreciating tech, a liability. Rule 3, they let compound interest do the heavy lifting. Albert Einstein supposedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world, adding, "He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it." The wealthy don't just understand this, they build their entire strategy around it. Most people are searching for a financial miracle, a quick score. The rich know the real magic is in the slow, steady, and unstoppable power of compounding. Compounding is just the process of earning returns on your returns. It's a snowball effect. At first, you barely notice it. You invest $10,000 at an 8% annual return, and after a year when you have $10,800, that $800 gain is nice, but it won't change your life. But after 10 years, your investment is worth over $21,500. After 20 years, it's over $46,600. And after 30 years, it's over $100,000, all without you lifting another finger. The growth isn't a straight line, it's a curve that gets steeper and steeper. The mistake most of us make is that we keep interrupting the process. We pull our money out when things get scary, or we jump from fad to fad, constantly buying and selling. Every time you do that, you reset the compounding clock and usually get hit with fees and taxes that eat into your gains. The wealthy treat their core investments like a bar of soap. The more you touch it, the smaller it gets. They buy quality assets and then have the discipline to do nothing for a very, very long time. This patience isn't passive, it's a strategic decision to let time do the hard work for them. Your actionable step is to automate your wealth building. The rich don't rely on flimsy willpower, they build systems. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking to your investment account for every payday, even if it's just $50 to start. That money should be automatically invested into a diversified, low-cost fund. By paying yourself first, you ensure that you're consistently feeding the compounding machine before you even get a chance to spend that money. You turn building wealth from a choice into a reflex. Before we jump into the last 2 rules, let me ask you something. If you're starting to see money differently already, then you're exactly why I make these videos. So take 2 seconds, hit the like button, and subscribe, because this channel is all about understanding how money actually works and how to build real wealth step by step. Alright, now let's get into the next rule, and this one is powerful. Rule 4, they wait patiently for opportunity, then act decisively. Most investors feel like they always need to be doing something. They're constantly tinkering, trading, and reacting to the latest headline. This flurry of activity feels productive, but it's usually just self-destructive. The wealthy, on the other hand, have mastered the art of strategic patience. They understand that truly amazing opportunities are rare, so they're willing to wait, often holding huge amounts of cash for the perfect pitch. Warren Buffett built his legend on this, sitting on billions in dry powder, just waiting for a crisis so he can buy great companies on sale. This flies in the face of conventional wisdom that says you should be fully invested at all times, but holding cash serves 2 critical purposes. First, it's a psychological anchor in a storm. When you have cash ready, a market crash feels less like a catastrophe and more like a Black Friday sale. Second, it gives you the firepower to act with lightning speed when those rare chances appear. While everyone else is panic selling, you can be the one scooping up high-quality assets for pennies on the dollar. This is how fortunes are truly made. Think about the 2008 crash or the 2020 dip. The investors who were terrified were the ones who were fully leveraged with no cash reserves. The ones who got filthy rich were those who had been patiently waiting with their opportunity fund. They understood that the best time to buy is when there's blood in the streets, their patience. Let them capitalize on the fear of others. This isn't about timing the market, which is a fool's errand. It's about being prepared for the market's inevitable meltdowns. Your actionable step is to create your own opportunity fund. This is separate from your emergency fund. This is cash specifically earmarked for buying when asset prices become irrationally cheap. A good rule of thumb is to hold between 5% and 20% of your investment portfolio in cash or cash equivalents, depending on your risk tolerance. It might sting to feel like you're missing out on gains during a bull run, but you're not. You are buying the single most valuable thing an investor can own: options. The power to act when everyone else is paralyzed by fear. Rule 5. They choose their circle wisely. This last rule has nothing to do with spreadsheets and everything to do with your life. Jim Rohn famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." The wealthy understand this on a cellular level. They are deliberate curators of their environment. They surround themselves with disciplined, forward-thinking people who talk about ideas and opportunities, not just other people and possessions. Your network determines your destination. Think about it. If your whole social circle is obsessed with consumer culture, constantly getting the latest phone, and taking credit-fueled vacations, it's almost impossible for you to live below your means. The social gravity is just too strong. But what if your circle is made up of people building businesses, investing for the future, and focusing on growth? Suddenly, those behaviors become your new normal. Their discipline rubs off on you. This was a massive turning point in my own life. I used to spend my weekends with friends where the main event was spending money, pricey dinners, bars, shopping. My bank account showed it. It wasn't until I started actively seeking out new communities, joining investment groups, going to business seminars, connecting with mentors, that my own habits started to shift. The conversations were different. We were talking about cash flow, asset allocation, and scalable systems. My entire mindset pivoted from consumption to creation, and my net worth quickly followed. Your final actionable step is to conduct an audit of your circle of influence. This doesn't mean you need to ghost all your old friends. But it does mean you need to consciously bring new voices and influences into your life. Listen to podcasts from successful entrepreneurs. Read biographies of people you admire. Join online communities or local meetups centered on finance and business. Intentionally expose yourself to the mindsets you want to adopt. Because protecting your financial future also means protecting the inputs that shape your thoughts and decisions. So there you have it, the 5 unbreakable rules the wealthy live by. 1. Protect your downside first. 2. Buy assets, not liabilities. 3. Let compound interest do the heavy lifting. 4. Wait patiently, then act decisively. And 5. Curate your inner circle. As you can see, building real wealth isn't about finding a secret stock tip or using a complex algorithm. It's about choosing discipline over drama. It's about building a solid foundation, making rational choices, and having the patience to let a proven system work for you over the long haul. Most people get it wrong because they're impatient and let fear and greed call the shots. The wealthy build fortunes by simply refusing to break these 5 simple rules. The blueprint is now in your hands. The only thing standing between where you are and where you want to be is the consistent application of these principles. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to start. Which one of these 5 rules are you going to implement first? Drop it in the comments below. Making a public commitment is a powerful first step. And if you got any value from this today, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I drop new videos every week to help you build real, lasting wealth. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.